Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair. This is the Biema Alpha amplifier. We've looked at this a couple of times. So I fixed the original fault on this, which was effectively somebody else's mess where they cut some of the components, some large diodes away from the board and then soldered legs back onto them using thick pieces of wire. The components work, so I don't really know why they'd done that at some point. Maybe they were salvaged from another amplifier and they just didn't feel like unsoldering them. I really don't know. So this then also had burnt out resistor here. I've had all this PCB off, checked everything on the other side and kind of like resoldered this, not via the burnt pad. It connects directly to this capacitor. There's nothing on the other side connecting to there. Okay, so all that's done and it works, but it sounds strange. It's like there's no bass, but hard to describe. It's probably easier just to show you. Okay, so we're ready to go. Basically I have some audio from YouTube. I have a speaker attached to this. Okay, so what it's doing, I've mentioned, I have another one of these here which works okay, and the other one, the protect light comes on then goes out. This one, the protect light doesn't come on. Let me just switch it on, you'll see what happens. The fan's a bit dodgy on this. So here the relay go click and a bump, see, made me jump, a little click on the speakers, but the protect light doesn't come on this. The other one comes on and goes off again. Let's just set him a bit of audio. So you can hear it, but there's like, when it comes on, you'll see that there's no bass for some reason. So it's not exactly distorting, it's just... You hear some distortion in that. And like I said, there's no bass, basically. Okay? Just go a bit further in. All the bass line is missing, yeah? Okay, so this is a bit of a strange one to me. I don't know what's causing the problem with this, why it's behaving in that way. But if I take the other one, we'll power this up. If you just watch the protect light, you'll see this one behaves differently. So protector's on. The fan works on this, but I honestly don't think that is causing the problem with the other one. It's just a 2-wire fan. It doesn't have anything sensing the rotation speed that I can see, not an extra wire. We hear the click, but the speaker doesn't go thump on this one. And if we now play some audio from the same video, hear completely different sound. Yeah, the bass is at full range. Okay. So that's the nature of the fault. Now I've just messaged the guy who owns these, because these amplifiers come from some line arrays. I'll show you basically what they're coming from. They come from these, okay, these type of speakers. This is rather expensive stuff, by the way. I'll just show you. 30,000 euros for this setup, for example. Yeah, so that's the sort of thing. Each one of these has one of these amplifiers in. Every single one has its own amplifier. And we see these like bass type speakers as well. So I asked the owner if one of these modules is from a full range or woofer cab and the other one is from like a horn cab, but he tells me that they're both from exactly the same type of cabinet. So we can't just think, okay, well actually there's nothing wrong with the other one. There's clearly something wrong with it, and I think this is a bit unusual. I'm not really sure exactly where to start with it, but we have to start somewhere. I think we can say that either we have a faulty capacitor or something that's kind of like filtering out all the bass frequencies. So this is where the audio comes in up here on this cable, which just comes from the input board here. So there are some capacitors and things on here. So we could have a problem on that. That's one thought. The other thing, and I'm not sure if this makes sense, but it might. This is a bridged amplifier. So we have two amplifiers basically here, and the speaker is connected across between the two. Now, it's possible, I guess, that one of the two bridged amplifiers has a problem. I'm not sure exactly what that would cause to happen, but if we draw it on paper, with a bridged amplifier, we have, in the case of this one, transistors. There'll be a low value emitter resistor, another one, and then we will have the other complementary transistor. And this is plus and minus, okay? So that is the output stage of one amplifier, and we have another one. Like so, okay? Yeah, I drew one of the transistors the other way around and the one not, but never mind. We have that. And then the speaker is connected from the output of this amplifier to the output of that amplifier, like so. And the idea is that this amplifier has a signal, audio signal, which is inverted compared to the other one, okay? So on one of them we feed in, there's your audio signal, and the other one has the same audio signal but inverted. So that when this is going positive, this is going negative, so effectively this transistor and this transistor turn on at the same time by the same amount on one half cycle, and on the other half cycle this one and this one turn on by equal amounts, okay? And that basically means we can get twice as much voltage across the speaker as we could if we were using a single amplifier and connecting the speaker to ground. Our amplifier, by the way, just mention this because we're probably going to be looking at it, actually is a class G amplifier. So it has another PNP transistor here, okay, and another NPN transistor here on both sides, but I'll just draw one of them, so I'm being lazy, and because it doesn't really make any difference, it has that, okay. And we have a large diode in here, and we have a large diode in here, okay. And then here we have the same, but the diode is basically the opposite way around. So we have a large diode there. I've drawn it in the wrong place, okay. We have a large diode there, and we have another one here, okay. And we have two supply rails. So on our amplifier, this one is about plus 33, I think it is. I think this one's plus 68, something like that. And this is minus 33 volts and minus 68 volts. And the idea of this circuit and why we have the two diodes is normally you have a plus and minus 33 volt supply. And if the amplitude of the waveform is going to go higher than 33 volts, on the fly, the amplifier switches to using these rails by switching these transistors on. That's why we have the two diodes, so that the 68 volts doesn't come back down into there, okay? And the same here. The original fault, by the way, one of these was open circuit because one of the legs wasn't soldered properly due to somebody else's mess. So that was the original fault. And either that or something else caused the resistor to burn up, okay? Anyway, upshot of all this. I don't see any reason, and I'm going to try this, why I can't connect both of these amplifiers individually, and we'll connect from the output to the amplifier. Instead of using the bridge, we will simply connect our speaker to ground. Okay. Now, if you know about bridged amplifiers, example on car stereos, which use these, it says do not connect the speaker to ground, and I'm connecting the speaker to ground. Yeah, but what I'm not doing is connecting either this point or the equivalent point on the other amplifier to ground. That's what you cannot connect to ground. There's no reason why I can't do this. All will happen is I get half the voltage across the speaker that I would in bridge mode, which gives a quarter of the power wattage basically. But if I do that for both amplifiers, if they both sound the same, that tinny sort of sound, then I think I know basically all the bass frequencies getting filtered out somewhere further back. If they don't sound the same, so one of them is giving a good quality full range sound and the other one isn't, I know the problem is with one of the amplifiers. So that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to try and figure out where the fault is on our amplifier. Comments below, guys, let me know what you think, but of course by the time you do that it will be too late. But I'm confident enough, and many amplifiers, by the way, actually have a switch which sets them to bridged or stereo, and that's all it does. It just connects the speaker to ground, yeah, rather than across the amplifiers. So I don't see any reason whatsoever why I cannot do that. Right, let's do it. Okay, so I've soldered a wire to this point. This actually is marked as ground. In fact, you can see it there, ground, without me zooming down on it. The other end of the speaker is connected to one of the green wires, which is this amplifier. Okay, if you are dubious about your own judgment here, put the current limiting light bulb in. I mean, there's nothing to lose there. It might be something to gain. Okay, so we can just power this up. Bulbs will come bright and then go dim, which is exactly what happens, so we know it's not going to do anything untoward. Okay, switch that off now. We can power this up then without the light bulb in. Okay, just watch what the protect light does out of interest. So power is on, just flicked again as it did before, flicked again, I hear the click. Let's, yeah, a little thump on the speaker. Let's see what it sounds like. So, same video. Turn the audio up. Okay, it's all tinny. Okay, so that amplifier is doing what the bridge was doing. We get the thump when we turn off. What's the other one doing? So it's switched off at the moment. We connect this to the one of the red wires. Okay, we can remain cautious. We just check once again with the current limiter. It's fine. Okay, power up, protect, flipped. We hear the relay, little thump on the speaker. Right, what's it doing? Well, it's doing the same thing. So whatever is affecting the amplifier is affecting both of them, okay? And I don't think we're going to have a fault on both amplifiers. That suggests very strongly the problem is further back. So I think the next place I want to have a look at is at the little board that fits on here. This one. In fact, what I'll probably do, because it's probably the quickest, is we'll take this mixer board off this one and we'll put the one from the other one, yeah, and see whether that makes a difference. That will eliminate that being the problem, everything before here. Okay, so let's try that. What I have checked on this, by the way, previously, I'll do it again for you guys on this video if I have to, without finding the fault before, but I have checked all the voltage supplies, okay, and they are correct. So on the low tension I have plus and minus 33, and on the high tension I have plus and minus 68. So I do know all the supply rails are good on this amplifier. Somebody's probably commented already because I didn't point that out, okay? But I can link to the previous videos and you'll see that, okay? So this board then, this is where the audio comes in, and it's quite possible there is a problem on here. Let's see how easy it is to swap this one with the one on the other amplifier. To do this, I have to unscrew the front panel from the amplifier. We can see we have one cable coming up here. Okay. Held in with some sort of glue, of course. Yeah. That goes to this board. And then it looks like we have another one which goes down that way, and probably a power leader comes in here. So it doesn't look like this would be too difficult to do. Of course, I could have got a scope and probed around to find where the signal is. So almost certainly here is the audio signal anyway. As always, there's various ways to do this. Now, somebody's going to comment that I'm lucky because I have a good one to compare with, and I won't disagree with that. But if I am lucky, then it would be a bit silly not to take advantage of that luck, which is why I'm doing this way. It just in one go eliminates any possibility of a fault on here. And this is in front of both amplifiers. I mean, this is mono, okay? But it has to invert the signal going into one of the bridged amplifiers. It has to feed the signal, so both of them will come through here. Right, so here is our board. It has one other connection down here. So a little 2-pin connection. Okay, and off it comes. We might as well have a quick look. While we are here, what do we have? So a TL084, that is a quad op amp, and the 4580D is a dual op amp. So we have a couple of op amps on here. It's possible, or even probable, one of these is actually driving the LEDs, in actual fact. Okay, a bit bent that thing, but there we are. So that's what we have really. Don't spot any obvious problems, or a bit of corrosion on it, but that's not unusual. I don't think that's the problem. Okay, so we'll take the one off the other amplifier and let's just try it on this one, and then in one go we can eliminate or prove there's a problem here. What I will do, of course, is make a mark on this so I know which one it is, because it's so easy to get yourself confused. So this faulty amplifier on the metal plate has a number 4 on it, so I'm going to put 4 on this as well. The other one has a number 3 on, so I'll just stick with that. It could be any marking as long as I know where it belongs. Yeah. Okay, and here is the other one. 3. So let's swap these over, or rather put this one onto the other amplifier and see if that makes any difference. So this is the one off number 3, which is the one which had this problem. This is the one where I had to repair that, okay. So I've put the little preamplifier board on off the other one. I've connected the speaker again directly across the bridged amplifier. Ever cautious, let's just use the light bulb again, the limiter up there, yeah, just to be sure, because I've been swapping stuff around. Should go bright and dim. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we look good to go. Switch that off, power it up again. So protect's come on and stayed on and gone out. That's what the other one was doing. Right, let's see. Well, we still have that nasty sound, so we haven't fixed that. It's interesting the protect light's behaving differently though. You know, when I saw that protect light come on and go out, I thought, that's it. And it's not. Protect light on. out. This has a dodgy level control, by the way. That's just a faulty potentiometer, to be quite honest. Okay, so probably another little job that needs fixing on this is this pot, but we can leave that until after we fix the other problems. I mean, that was the board off the other amplifier, and the Protect Light did work. So we'll put this one back on here and see if it does something different. I mean, we may have some sort of fault on here to do with the Protect Light. Maybe one of these op amps. Okay, so Preamp 3 on Amplifier 4. This is the one that had the problem with the Protect Light. Now, when I put the other preamp board on, the other one, the Protect Light works, so that does appear to be a problem on here, on the little board somewhere. Okay. So again, this one, we can put the current limiter in. It's just good practice, basically. Okay. On. Right then, dim, fine, off. So let's see what this does on here. Let's try the audio again on this amplifier. Oops, forgot a couple of screws. Maybe I'll put at least one of those in just to stop that doing that again. That'll hold that in place for now. Okay. Right, so switch her on without the current limiter in now. In fact, we don't need that in the image anymore. Okay, so Protect Light comes on, goes out. So that was probably a bad connection on the other one. I think we can say that much. Let's try some audio again. And it sounds fine. Okay. So we've managed to actually fix one problem, which was the Protect Light, but we still have this problem with the amplifier. And it's on the main amplifier board somewhere. Okay, so we haven't fixed the audio problem, but we have inadvertently fixed the Protect Light problem under the amplifier. I guess that itself is a result. I might as well put all the screws back in this one for now. We know this one is still working okay. It may still prove useful as a comparison, but I think now this is going to become a bit of a pain in the ass, this repair job, because it's so difficult to get to what I need to get to, basically. Okay, so we have a chip here. Another TL084. I'm sure that's what that is. Yeah, I can see it. TL084, okay. Now that's right by the audio connector which comes in. This is your signal. These are probably supply voltages or something, I'm guessing, going down to the front panel. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. These are for the LEDs as well, to send the signals to the LEDs. That might be what this is involved with, because I don't really see any tracks coming from this connector heading that way. I mean, there might be on the other side of the board. But what I do see is this thing. I didn't give it any attention. If anything, I probably thought, oh, it's just a relay or something. But in actual fact, it ain't at all. It's a one of those. Professional amplifier processor. Okay. Professional amplifier processor. And I have a nasty, nasty suspicion that is the problem with this. Considering the sync amplifiers I had, the Sync 3K6 I had problems with. That was a Class D, fair enough, but similar modules. Yeah. What do you think, guys? You think I'm out of luck here? You think that's what the problem is? I mean, I could probably kind of unsolder that and take one off the other one and swap them. You then have these two boards here, which I think are the front stage of the amplifier. They just have one capacitor on each of them. And I was thinking capacitors is maybe the problem here. I do see a few more here, but these could also be on supply rails. Yeah. I have a nasty feeling about this thing. Let's see if we can find anything out about it. It has a number on it. Will that help us? Well, that's the number that's on it. P03083-0668KI-PK01. Yeah. Number's definitely what it says. But I've reached the end of the internet, basically. Okay. I tried searching for PK01. But that's a very generic thing. Rifles come up to start off with, okay. And I also tried that and then professional amplifier processor. Yeah, doesn't really find anything not of any help. Okay, what does an amp processor do? The brains behind the mid to high end home theatre. So this is what you would normally have for surround sound and such like. I'm not sure, because this drives these big speaker arrays. It's probably doing something. But that sounds like exactly the sort of thing, if it went wrong, would cause exactly this sort of fault. What do you think? What do you think about that? How easy is it to take off? Because the only possibility I have is to swap the one with the other one without damaging it. And if it turns out the problem is this thing, at the moment I don't know where I could even get one from. Now that is a quandary, yeah. Of course I don't know if this is what's faulty on here, but it just seems likely. It just seems very likely to me. I mean, if I had a data sheet, so I could see, obviously there's going to be audio in and audio out on this, yeah. And this might be sending some of the signals to the LEDs up there as well, with the protector and whatever it probably is doing. I know this chip over here basically controls the relay, so this actually is also a protector IC. These wires, by the way, didn't explain them on this video, but this is normally where the mains comes in from the power con connectors. I don't have any plugs for these. I have ordered some. So this is where I'm just attaching my mains onto here. So these aren't actually connected to anything. Well, they go to there, but nothing's plugged in there, okay? Right, I'm going to have to take this one all apart again, as I did before, which is a lot of screws, and have a look to see if it's even reasonably feasible to do something with that, yeah. So, a lot of screws later. This thing is very useful. I think I have. No, I have a few more to go actually on the PCB. Okay. Right. Off it comes again. It was off on the previous video, yeah. All those fall off, of course. I could probably benefit from a little bit of fresh heatsink compound on this thing actually, if I can get it working. Okay. So here is our module. Here is our module. This has to be some sort of DSP thing. I can't think of anything else that it is really. There's not so many connections. We have two there, and we have a few more here. Okay. Let's see if this thing will actually come off with any amount of ease. Because I do suspect that is what the problem is with this. I think we can also just look. So here is where the audio comes in on this connector. That, I think at that end, is actually the audio input. Let's see, where does the cable go? Yeah, so here's the cable. We can see the screen cable here. So this end one is in fact the audio input. Okay, so that's this end. Where's that go to? Well, on this side of the PCB, it doesn't seem to go anywhere. Okay. And on this side of the PCB, it's impossible to see if it goes anywhere. But I would have to sort of assume it does go onto here, onto the side of the board. Okay. That almost looks like it's a bit melted, that one. I don't think so. I think it's just glue, and I really don't want to start messing with those things because I have no idea how they are calibrated or set up on this. Okay. I'll see if I can actually get this thing off easily with the vacuum desoldering tool. At least if I see that the audio from here goes directly into this, that'll give me a very good indication. Okay, let's see. So how easy is it to unsolder this thing? Well, so far so good. Well, on the plus side, I think it's unsoldered quite easily. If that is unsoldered, it looks pretty good. Oh, it was very good. So that's the thing. Now, where's that audio signal coming in? I can't see exactly where it goes. I do know it comes in here. I'm convinced this is the audio. It's screen cable, yeah. So I do know it comes to there. Oh, does that go there? Let's have a look. So this is audio in. No, it doesn't go there. Interesting, that doesn't seem to go to this directly at all. Where does that go then? Well, that one goes to there. This should be ground, you would think. But it's not ground. Let me see if I can figure out where this goes. It goes to there. Okay. There. And that, is this a resistor here, I'm thinking? Let's have a look. Looks like it goes to a resistor here. We can test from this side, so this is audio in. Find it again, here is here. So just just below the connector there, that's probably there actually. Yeah, so it goes to that. That then, does that go to this transistor? Yes. Okay. Where does that then go to? So this is a transistor. That has a diode on it. Is this the output? Does that go? This is ground. I'm sure this is ground, signal ground, which goes to there. Another resistor. Let's see if we figure out which pin is which on this transistor. I'm a bit surprised it just goes through a transistor like that, if that's what it's doing. Okay. Well, that reads, yeah, 717. That reads like a transistor. Oh, that reads quite low, but there could be a resistor across it. This one in the middle looks like it's the base. So that would be the emitter or collector. What value is this resistor? I'm not quite just figuring out what this circuit does at the moment. Well, it's that one, which looks like 1.8. The colour balance is very bad on this camera, by the way. Could be 1.8k or 180 ohm. 18k, yeah, this must be an orange. So that goes to an 18k. What's this thing here? It's a... oh, that's like a MOSFET or something. K163. K163. What is that? Okay, so I can see 202K163. I can see 2SK163, MSK163. One of them's operational amplifier, so ultra high voltage. Don't see it being that at all. This is an N channel MOSFET. But the package is wrong. I'm a bit surprised it would be one of those anyway. 202K163. What are you? Oh, that's just something completely different. That's nothing whatever of interest to us. Is there another number on it? K131C. Let's try that. Also, this looks like a Zener diode here. Well, it says VD. Not sure. Could be a Zener. Don't know about that. No, it's like a 1M4148. I can see the numbers. That's just a normal low current silicon rectifier. K131C. Well, again brings us to like K1317, which isn't really ours at all. Let's take the C off, just go for K131. Again, not really giving us a obvious data sheet. Air quality kit. Sensor modules. So that isn't really helping me either. So I'm puzzled what that is exactly. I'm also finding it strange that is actually in the audio path. So if this really is the audio in, does it go anywhere else other than that? No. This pin on this slightly unknown transistor type device goes to a diode there, because I can't see this going to anywhere else. There is like a diode, and this pin goes to an electrolytic capacitor, which goes to, oh, back to this pin that I thought was ground via a resistor. The negative end of that seems to go to there via a diode. Oh, that negative end of that goes to here, And then this end here goes directly into this thing. So I do see a path how it could be getting there, but I'm a bit surprised by that. But I can't see that the audio goes anywhere else. Okay. So this, we know 18K into this device, if it looks like it is doing, out of there through an electrolytic capacitor to here. And then this is a resistor. Reads about 600 ohms, 670 ohms, something like that. Which is that one. And then that goes directly into this module, okay? This thing then possibly is in the circuit path. I mean, I don't really understand exactly what this is doing, to be honest. That diode is like, well, this can't be the collector because it's the wrong way round, basically. What's this capacitor? Well, it's a 22 microfarad 50 volt. If the audio really is going in that way, well, I'll take this capacitor out and test that. If that reads okay, I can't see, and I'm a bit puzzled by the way that gets to here, but I have no schematics to this. But I have to say that this thing is the next in line for the audio signal, basically. 23. Okay. So the only place it goes, from what I can see, is into this thing via this transistor, which I can't identify. Okay. It looks like a bipolar transistor, but the forward voltage drop seems a bit higher than I'd expect it to be. I guess I could just unsolder that as well. Let's take it on the component analyzer and see what that thing actually is. Okay. N-channel junction FET, so it's a JFET. This is a JFET, and the middle one is the gate. Okay. Oh, well, that makes a bit more sense. So we can see that the audio signal comes in through this 18K resistor, was it? This is either the drain or the source. This is the gate. So this acts like a switch, I would say, and just lets the audio signal pass through. A MOSFET conducts both ways. I'm guessing the JFET does as well. I'm no expert on JFETs. Then via a capacitor, which is we know is good. Then via a 680 ohm resistor, which we know is good, and into the module. So I can see the path there now. I'd like to know, actually. I'm going to have to do a video about JFETs. Yeah, I'm sure some of you guys would like to know about JFETs as well. Okay, JFET video coming. So this module is definitely the next thing in the signal path. The signal goes in there. We know the signal up to here is good because we know we've changed the preamplifier. So that really must be the culprit here, I would say. Because we also know that the problem is on both of the bridged amplifiers when I drive them as just a single amplifier. Either of them, I get exactly the same problem, and it's just extremely unlikely that the fault would be on both the same. This we know is some sort of digital signal processor, and what it's doing is exactly the sort of thing you'd expect to go wrong if a digital signal processor goes wrong. So I'm going to say, and put my money on, this being the problem on this amplifier. Now, the question is, does anybody know what this is? Where do we get one of these? Hey guys, there's the barcode, if you can read from that, but you can see the number. So Google didn't help in the slightest with it. You know what the amplifier came from, Biema Alpha Line Array, so you basically know as much as I do about this one now. But I'm hoping that somebody knows rather more than I do about this one, okay? And can guide me in the right direction. So, questions. 1, do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm correct on the diagnosis with this one? And 2, do you know where I can find one of these? Okay, Hope you enjoyed that, even though we didn't fix it. I think we got a long way with figuring out what's wrong with it. At least we got the protect light to work. So at least that was a bonus. Okay, that'll do for now, and I look forward to seeing you all soon on Learning Electronics Repair. Ciao for now, guys.